Feminist philosophy then and now. In one sense, feminist philosophy is rather a new thing. If you look at the list of courses or modules offered by most philosophy departments taught in a university in the UK, which is where I live and work, you're more likely than not to find a course that centrally engages with feminist philosophy. But 20 years ago, there were very few such courses, though there were some. And 40 years ago there was, to the best of my knowledge, none at all. Similarly, a look today at the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, a highly respected internet resource written by, and largely for, academic philosophers, brings up at least 30 entries for different types of, and topics within, feminist philosophy. Yet as recently as the 1970s, there was no recognized body of feminist philosophy at all, according to the American feminist philosopher Claudia Card. So the particular kind of organized study of what gets called feminist philosophy that we see today dictated university courses being taught and scholarly books and articles being written, published and grouped together is a relatively recent phenomenon. In a broader sense, though, feminist philosophy is as old as the hills. Once we look beyond a narrow institutionalized idea of feminist philosophy, and given that academic institutions have historically been unfairly selective about who they let in, we have good reason to do so. We can find plenty of examples going back hundreds of years of deep and serious thinking by people who were concerned to improve the social status of women. For example, in 1410, Christine de Pizan, 1364 to circa 1430, a successful professional writer working in French courtly circles, wrote a prose work called The Book of the City of Ladies. This takes the form of a dialogue between de Pizan herself and 3 allegorical feminine figures personifying different virtues: Lady Reason, Lady Rectitude, we can interpret the somewhat archaic term rectitude more or less as morality in this context, and Lady Justice. De Pizan systematically rebuts the negative views of women that many of her contemporaries held, arguing that women are valuable participants in society, are capable of great virtue and achievements, and deserve education and respect. She uses the idea of virtue to argue for women's equality with men, arguing that it is he or she who is the more virtuous who is the superior being. Human superiority or inferiority is not determined by sexual difference, but by the degree to which one has perfected one's nature and morals.